and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Right, it is nearly 7 o'clock on a Friday evening here in the UK. Hello Carl, hello Jason, hello Ace Ventura, Neil, hello Tina Beard, hi there, Christoph, hello buddy. So another easy one for me again tonight. I'm not racing. What we'll do is we'll have a look at the front runners. So I'll set off at a nice steady pace in 1 minute's time. I've already been out today. I've done 10k today outside. So this is just going to be a nice, easy, relaxing 10k for me. Feel free to ask questions, chat away in the stream, and we'll follow the front runners. We'll see if anything interesting is going on at the front of the race. We have 34 people so far, 35 now, so everyone's dropping in. Yeah, Marcus Holmes has had a very late lunch, so he's taking this very easy. Yeah, I've not long had some pizza. Fire Leather, hello to you, buddy. Nice. So maybe a few of us might be taking it a little bit easy today. Just get the miles under our belts, eh? Carl says, let's get this done. So here we go, 10 seconds. Let's just get up to a kind of vaguely appropriate, safe pace. 10 kph will do for starters, and away we go. And let's see who sets the pace then. Adam Holland is running. Who else have we got? Shapiro is here. Karl-Heinz Engel is running. Rob Harrison is with us. So there's a good few out and about today. Fernandez is with us. Hunter. So let's see who takes up the front running. Usually a few people blast off early doors. Tina Beard, yeah. I was doing a little bit of experimenting with foot pods. So I took myself out onto the seafront today. Ran along the promenade along Worthing seafront for 10k. Again, not really hard. Just, you know, relatively chilled, but it will mean that I've done, by the end of today, I'll have done 12 miles, so it's not an insubstantial number of miles to do in a day. James Stanger says he's done 1 minute on-off today. So he's running easier as well. Hello from the USA. He says, hello there, buddy.
Nice.
So, yeah, we're going to go gentle. So let's have a look at the front pack then. At the moment, it looks like Adam Holland is going to be the person who's going to challenge at the front there. Unless there are some crazy guys going to go really quick. But right now, Adam's off at the front there, running at 3:31 per kilometre. We've got Schultz second. Is it Brian? I think it's Brian Schultz, is it? Schultz anyway in second, a couple of seconds back, running at a similar pace to Adam. And then Emmy from Brazil. So we've got no heart rate and no steps per minute for Adam. Come on, Adam. Get that cadence and that heart rate on for us to see. Schultz, what have we got for Schultz? So we've got cadence for Schultz, looks a good cadence. And he's sticking close behind Adam at the early part of the race. He's just slightly slower than Adam at the moment. And Ace Ventura has decided to take up the running. So he is going out at 4 minutes per kilometre. Good for him. And he's got heart rate and cadence and it all looks good. 148 heart rate, cadence is 183. McIntosh. That is, I'm not sure that's right. Although she has got a heart rate of 162 and steps per minute of 191, so it could be right. I've no idea who McIntosh is, but she is going like the clappers at 3 minutes per kilometre. Obviously first lady and in third place overall, but at this speed is going to be catching the boys up front. And I can't, you know, she's got heart rate, she's got good cadence. Cadence is what you'd expect for that speed. Heart rate, well, we're early in the run. And heart rate is 163, which sounds about right. So, is she a top elite female runner? Alex Dieter, is Mo not running today? No, Mo's not in this one today. But it looks like we do have some pretty good runners. McIntosh, Schultz and Holland are at 1 kilometre now. And McIntosh is catching the boys and now has had a technical error and has completely stopped. And now she's off again. So maybe that happened at the beginning and maybe she felt she had to push I don't know. Let's just keep an eye on McIntosh for a minute. So now she's settled at 4 minutes per kilometre, which is still fast. I mean, that's my 10k pace pretty much for, you know, a good time. So, and now her steps per minute is down to 187. Heart rate is 160. So if anybody is watching who wants to look up Jane McIntosh, please feel free to do so. I'll see if I can find her on the Zwift companion app. So she is a level 12 cyclist, 1,256 kilometres on Zwift, but she's a top level runner, level 21 on Zwift, and she has run 1,295 kilometres. She seems to be having problems with her foot pod. She keeps stopping and starting again. So she's now down to 5th. So it might be worth... This is June. Her name is June McIntosh. It's not Macintosh, is it? It's McIntosh. June McIntosh from Scotland. First lady, but was going at a crazy 3 minutes per kilometre. But there's no reason to say she can't do that. She's got heart rate, she's got cadence, it all looks good. And in fact, her heart rate has come right down now that she's going slower. And when she was going at 3 minutes per kilometre, her heart rate was 168 or something. So that's interesting. So it'd be interesting to see if she's got any stats available as to what kind of runner she is outdoors. Buenaventura is 4 seconds behind June McIntosh, still running at a decent 4 minutes per kilometre, and he is catching June because she has slowed to 4:15, 4:12. Adam Holland is still up ahead, way up ahead now, but he is still being chased by Schultz. So Schultz is not really far behind, 3 seconds behind. It is a race between those two up front. Emmy from Brazil, 19 seconds behind them. No, sorry, that's not true. 19 seconds ahead of June McIntosh. Let me just go back to the guys in the lead then. We'll keep our eyes on June though, First Lady. Right, there's Adam. 2.1 kilometres done, 8 to go. So, normally we're a little bit sceptical about runners who don't have heart rate or cadence, but we know Adam. I know Adam personally. I know he's a fast runner. Schultz, I don't know, but he does have cadence, and that cadence looks good. So at the moment, I've no reason to doubt that he is running legitimately. We can look him up. Okay, so Rob Harrison has looked up June McIntosh, and Rob says June runs in a Scottish National Running League. So she is, by all accounts, a decent runner. Whether she is a 3 minutes per kilometre runner, we're not quite sure. We know she's had some technical problems with her foot pod, dropouts. Maybe she's decided not to race it and just go a bit slower. Or maybe it was a technical error that was causing her to go really fast. Regardless, 4:15 is still a decent pace. So let's just look up Schultz. Yeah, so this is Brian Schultz. I have seen Brian before. He is a level 21 runner, He's done 1,652 kilometers on Zwift from the United States. His cadence is 177, his height is 177 centimeters. So he is running his height. And he is right behind Adam. He's caught him up, he's going a bit faster than Adam currently. But there's a long way to go yet. They're only they're not at 3 kilometers yet, so nowhere near halfway through. A lot of running to be done. But Adam won't like to be beaten. He will push, and he can go faster than this. So sometimes with the really fast runners, it could get to a point where they can't make their treadmill go any faster. So even if they feel they could run faster, the treadmill might not actually go faster. That can be a sticking block for some runners. Thankfully not for me. I only very, very occasionally get to the top speed of my treadmill, and that is literally for about 100 meters. So currently first place, Brian Schultz. Second place, right behind, is Adam Holland. Third place is Pete Emmy from Brazil. Fourth place is, can't see the name there. Is it Williamson? Yeah, Williamson from the UK is 1 minute 40 seconds behind Schultz. Buenaventura, Ace Ventura from Spain, 2 minutes behind the leader. Peacock from the USA, 2 minutes 11 seconds behind. First Lady June McIntosh is 2 minutes 24 seconds behind the leader. Laudo from Spain, 2 minutes 50 behind the leader. Duckworth from the UK, 3 minutes behind the leader. So Brian Schultz is matching Adam Holland for pace. They're both going, well, Brian is just slightly going a little bit faster. Adam will bide his time. He has sped up a little, just to keep pace with Brian. Remember, this is a 10k race, so they're not yet halfway. You don't want to see me, do you? You want to concentrate on the running. I should have a special set of scenes for when I'm commentating on a race that don't include big camera images of me lolling along at 10 kilometers per hour back in 30th position. We'll stick with the runners in the lead just for the time being. See if Brian Schultz makes any push away. Carl is dying, he says. Did you start out too quick, Carl? Carl might have started out a bit too quick, and he's now dying only 3 kilometers into the race. Ease it back a bit, Carl, take it easy. Relax, recover, and then push out the last 5k. June McIntosh has had another technical dropout and has disappeared. Oh, that's a shame. She's probably quite annoyed by that. I can see Carl now. Carl is about 4 minutes 50 seconds behind the leader. Karl-Heinz Engel is just ahead of him. Hartmann just ahead of Karl-Heinz. That is a shame for June, because she looks like a fast runner. But these things happen. You do have to have a little bit of technical nous sometimes to run on Zwift. Right, coming up on 4 kilometers done, and the guys are just, there's a bit of a gap developing between Brian Schultz from the USA and Adam Holland from the UK. Couple of seconds now. Adam has sped up again. So there's 4k now. James Stanger says Adam could beat him if he wanted to. Well, I don't know. I don't know much about Brian Schultz. Anybody want to look up Brian Schultz for me on, now what's the American one? Athlinks. You can look him up on Athlinks. Okay, Drum 001 says Paula Emmy is female. So Paula Emmy from Brazil is currently overall in 4th position. Let me go back down to her then. So 4.5 kilometres in for the guys at front. Right, so Paula is running she's running at 3:27 per kilometre, which is pretty darn fast, and steps per minute of 189. That looks good. No heart rate, but we'll let her off. Steps per minute is where we would expect it to be for somebody running at that speed. And she's catching Williamson. So First Lady currently is Paula Emmy from Brazil. We've had a couple of dodgy Brazilian runners in recent races. Garcia, was it Garcia? Following Mo Farah all the way the other day. But she looks, mind you, 199 is pretty darn high now. Maybe she's, short legs, very fast cadence, could well be. Looks good. So if anybody wants to look up Brian Schultz and tell me from Athlinks if there's any details on him. And Paula Emmy from Brazil, I don't know how we can find out any real world stats for Paula Emmy, but if anybody can, that would be great. So, really good battles going on. 5 kilometres halfway through now. Adam Holland is back in the lead. Brian Schultz has dropped to second, so Brian looked like he tried to make a break for it, but maybe couldn't hold on to that pace. Adam can hold on to that pace, and he is off and running over halfway now. Sando Bacco, is everybody on a stride foot pod? No. Everybody is on totally different foot pods. So some people would be on a stride, which is really good, the best foot pod you can get. Some people will be on the Zwift pod, which is the cheapest, most basic foot pod you can get, which, to be honest, isn't the best. It's great. It's not bad, it'll do the job, but it is prone to dropouts and it is prone to not being overly accurate in terms of pace. So a lot of people will be using that. Some people like me will be on a smart treadmill, so you don't need a foot pod at all. They're connected with their treadmill is connected directly to Zwift. So there's a multitude of different ways that people connect to Zwift, and so it's impossible to say what everybody's using. And yeah, racing, you can never have, on Zwift at the moment, you can't have proper races, with prizes at the end, because it's just not a fair playing field. You don't know who's running with what equipment. And there are ways that people cheat. There are apps that you can use to simulate running on the treadmill. And we've seen people using those recently to try and game the system. So it's very difficult to say one way or the other what people are using and how they're running on Zwift. So the only way we can do it is by checking people's heart rate when they're running and checking their steps per minute. Experienced runners can recognise when a steps per minute is too low or too high for a particular pace. So you can generally tell when somebody isn't properly running. Yes, Sandor says he's tried the Zwift pod and it wasn't correct, and he's tried the stride and it was spot on. So yes, PK Nexus says, never seen Zwift running. P Nexus says, so foot pods are not accurate and treadmills, smart treadmills are not necessarily. However, the cheaper foot pods will not be so accurate, no. The more expensive foot pods are very accurate, so the Stride is very accurate. Smart treadmills, not necessarily accurate, but you would expect if you're going to pay $3,000, $4,000 for a treadmill, you would expect that the money you pay will get you an accurate device, an accurate piece of equipment. I am fairly confident that the treadmill I'm running on now is fairly accurate, but you can never be 100% sure. So Adam is now at 6 kilometers in. Brian Schultz is now behind and has slowed. In fact, they've both slowed now because the race looks like it's over. Adam Holland has won the race. He's broken Schultz in the last kilometre, and as a result Schultz has given up and has slowed right down to 4:23 per kilometre. Adam Holland has also slowed down, but not as much, and for him is going at a comfortable 15 kilometres an hour, 4 minutes per kilometre, with 3.8 kilometres left to run. And PK Nexus says, has Zwift talked about banning pairing of various non-accurate foot pods for races? No, not yet. In cycling, they have been talking much more seriously about looking for riders who are clearly cheating. That we haven't got to that stage with running yet, because it hasn't been that serious. But I'm sure in the next year or two, if running becomes more serious on Zwift and we get more elite athletes and more serious runners, there will be questions asked about people clearly cheating. So it's more about banning runners who clearly are trying to gain an unfair advantage. I don't think they'll be banning people using particular devices, because you may be using a particular device quite legitimately. James Stanger says cheating is only hurting themselves. PK Nexus Stride is good. The Stride foot pod is the best foot pod that you can buy anywhere in the world now, yes. Yeah, very good foot pod indeed, very accurate. Leo Lefferen, hello buddy.
Nice.
Okay, so Adam Holland currently in the lead at 6.6 kilometres and is also slowing down again now. He's clearly relaxing and knows he's got this in the bag. Schultz is just behind, 1 minute, 14 seconds behind now. They're both going around about the same pace now, but the race is effectively over, we can see that. PK Nexus, thank you very much. Says the stream is very well set up, cheers. Yeah, I mean they might well do, but it's just not at that stage yet. So running on Zwift is not as advanced as cycling, and we haven't got to the stage yet where racing is a really serious thing. So most people are using Zwift running for training, and if people want to cheat in training, I mean that's it's up to them. They're only hurting themselves. Like who is it that somebody just said that? James just said that. People are only hurting themselves if they want to cheat in training. But racing is not serious enough yet to warrant any real kind of examination of people gaming the system. Right, it looks like we can go back to me. And then the big list will pop up. Let's go and drop some ride-ons at people. Let's go a bit further forward. Peacock. Right, oh, how's Emmy getting on? There's Emmy, look. Right, Paula is still in third place overall. from Brazil. She's the first lady. She's running at 4:16 per kilometre. She is at 6.2k in, and she's our first lady, so well done to her. Peacock from the USA. He is 24 seconds behind Paula Emmy. And then we've got Williamson. He's 18 seconds behind Peacock. Heart rate of 163. Leo, yes, I read that news, yes. Just went out for a little jog, didn't he, and collapsed. Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura's running at 4:20 per kilometre. And he's currently in 6th position. Well done to you, buddy. Good work, keep it up. So you can see Ace has got a heart rate of 149 and steps per minute of 177. So we know that is sensible. That is, steps per minute is exactly where you'd expect it to be. And heart rate, he is clearly not running at his maximum. He could run faster than that. 6.2k in, he's taking it a little bit easier. But that's fine, I'm taking it very easy, so we're all allowed to take it a little bit easy. Maybe he went off too fast and he's absolutely shattered now and just wants to relax. But well done, Ace, good job. Duckworth is behind Ace Ventura by 6 seconds, not far at all, and actually catching. So Ace, if you want to speed up, because 7th place is catching you. Hartman is also not far behind as well. 16 seconds behind Buenaventura. So the UK and the USA chasing Spain for 6th position. Jones from Wales. Well done to him. He's going at a pace as well. He's going at 6:10 per kilometre. So he's trying to catch. And we've got Rinaldi from the USA. Right on to him. Rinaldi is comfortable in 10th position now. Lado from Spain, 5 minutes per kilometre. Karl-Heinz Engel from Germany, 12th position. Holoka from Canada, 13th. C. Martins, is that Portugal? No, it's a black lower end, isn't it? So what flag is that? I don't recognise the flag. Anybody want to tell me what that flag is? C. Martins, well done. Actually, let's look him up. Steps per minute, 176. Heart rate, 153. Quite clearly running. And let's go to the map. Let's click on his name. Angola from Africa. So this is Cristóvão Martins from Angola in Africa, on the west coast of Africa, southwest coast of Africa. P-Nexus says, it's the first time I've ever seen commentary being done in real time by one of the runners. I do this quite often. I'll tell you when I do this, when I can't be bothered to run quick myself. Sometimes I like to have a nice easy run, and today is one of those days, so I'm taking it easy, relaxing, and that allows me to talk a little bit. So it's nice to focus on other runners as well sometimes, and it's also good because racing, although it's not serious at the moment, racing is becoming a bigger thing on Zwift running, and we've had some great races recently. Not just only yesterday with Mo Farah running with us, well, the day before yesterday rather. So it's nice to give those races a bit of exposure and the faster runners a bit of exposure, and then we can just duck down through the field and look at everybody else as well. Actually, let's go and have a look at the front again now, because they must be near the finish. I reckon Adam is going to be finishing in the next 5 minutes or so. He has 1.9 kilometers left. So what's he doing? It's 4:20. All right, so he's going to be about 38 minutes. 38 minutes to finish. P-Nexus, yes, I agree. But like we were saying earlier, it kind of depends on the technology. They need to make it so it's a level playing field. So either everyone is using the same equipment, or everyone is, what's the word I'm looking for? Validated, if you know what I mean. So maybe you have to supply real-time outdoor results to prove that you can do a particular pace, something like that, to validate who you are and validate your credentials as a runner. So Adam, 1.5 kilometers, just over 1.5 kilometers to go. He is still almost a minute ahead now of Brian Schultz in second, so there's no chance Brian's going to catch him up now, even though he is going slightly faster than Adam. Adam is comfortable in the lead and is going to win this in about 38 minutes. Johnson coming the other way. That's my speed. I'm going at 10 kilometers an hour. Nice and easy. And let's go back to me. So there's me running through the tunnel. Marcus Holmes just up ahead of me, with Rob Harrison as well, so we'll keep them a ride on. Torres from Mexico. Severa. What flag is that? Is that Portugal? No. Not sure. Lady runner though, so well done to her. Good job. Oh, good to see the women out on the course. Herman from the USA, another woman. Good stuff. She's in 24th, so could be a race on there for 24th, 25th position. She's only 18 seconds behind, still got a good 4.5k to go to catch Rojas. Good job. Castano in 22nd position. Shapiro from Israel, regular runner on Zwift. Can't see the name, another female runner. Is it Watkins? Not sure. Lawton in 18th position. Luzerna from Switzerland, another regular Zwift runner. Carl, always on Zwift. Well done to you, buddy. Taking it easy now. Went out a bit hard, got a bit tired, and just taking it easy, bringing it in. He is in 15th. So where are the other runners? Oh, 14th. There we are. Fernandez in 14th. And we've been to those runners. Let's go back up to the front. Just see Adam cross the line. He's got 1 kilometre to go. So, yeah, it's going to be, if he speeds up, 37. But 38 minutes for 10k. Well, I would love to get 38 minutes for 10k. Rob Harrison says, thanks for the ride on.
Ride on!
Slow and serious, thanks for the ride on. P-Nexus, no, it doesn't show you if somebody is using a footpod or a smart treadmill. You don't know what anyone's using unless they tell you. That would be interesting. That would be interesting information to find out, actually. If you could find out what everyone was using. I mean, you can. I can show you what I'm using. So this is my information. That's the event we're doing, the route we're on. So the speed is from the MyRun treadmill. HR is from my watch. Cadence is from the MyRun treadmill. And I have a current total distance of 4,168 kilometers on Zwift. So those are all my stats that I can grab from the log file of the program. Yes, I mean, I'm sure there would be a way to find out the information. I mean, it is there, as you can see. Those are my stats, so it is there in the log file. But it's whether Zwift want to display that for other people to see, because I guess that's your private information, I suppose. But you could quite easily allow that to be displayed. So Adam has 700 metres to go. James Stanger says, I have a Zwift pod, it was pretty cheap. James, do you find that it's accurate for you? Are you happy with it? I'll just tell you one of the stories. I mean, there are many stories about Adam Holland, but one of the stories that I personally have with Adam is about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Adam and I turned up to an event a few hundred miles north of here in England called the Grim Reaper Ultra. And there are 3 distances. You can do 40 miles, you can do 70 miles, or you can do 100 miles. Carl says, I wish I had 700 metres to go. Well, he's only got 400 metres to go now. And Adam was entered into the 100-mile race. I was entered into the 70-mile race. And amazingly, it's the only race I've ever won. I won the 70-mile distance. However, Adam won the 100-mile distance, and it was on a looped course. The race was on a looped course of 10 miles. So basically you just did, if you're doing 70 miles, you did it 7 times. If you're doing 100 miles, you did it 10 times. Not only did Adam win the 100-mile race, but he was also faster than the winner of the 40-mile race to finish 40 miles. He was also faster than me to 70 miles, and obviously was the fastest to 100 miles. So even though I won the 70-mile race, I wasn't the fastest to 70 miles. But there we are. 200 metres to go for Adam now. He is a quick runner, but he's taking it easy. Schultz is putting on a burst of speed towards the end, and is 40 seconds behind Adam now. A great running by both runners. Good battle in the first half of the race. Adam broke Brian at around 5k and went away, and is just crossing the line now in 37.50. 37.50 for Adam at 10 kilometres. Well done to him. He'll probably go on and do another 10k just for fun now. Oh, there we go. Oh, he went off the course. That was interesting. Right, back to me. Right, Carl is so shattered he needs an Uber. Okay, Adam has finished. I still have 3.5 kilometres to go, so I think it's time to speed up. Are you coming with me, Marcus and Rob? I'm going to go a bit quicker. Only 12, so 5 minutes per kilometre now. Should be done in about 17 minutes. James Stanger says to a point, he's talking about the Zwift pod. To a point, he says, yes, it was perfectly okay. Had trouble at first with it. It's about 0.5 of a kilometre per. 0.5 is what? So if you do 10k, what you would do 9.5k? No? Half a kilometre per minute, can't be that. So Rob Harrison's going to run with me. Could be 5% plus or minus, yeah. I guess so. Right, so if you are brand new to Zwift, if you've never seen Zwift before, it's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a foot pod like the Zwift pod or the Stride, but you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, and if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world. Right, Christoph says, if Zwift shows 7 kilometers per hour speed, his treadmill needs to be at 7.5 kilometers per hour speed. That is unacceptable, Christoph, honestly. Unless your treadmill is really out. When you're running at, say, 7 kilometers an hour, do you feel like you're running at 7 kilometers an hour, or do you feel like you're running at 7.5? What's the perceived effort like? Because that seems like an awfully big gap to me. Okay, so James says it's 0.5 miles per hour off when I'm going slower. The faster I go, the more accurate it is. See, that actually seems a lot to me. And I'll be interested to know whether you feel like you're running at that speed or not. So do you feel like you're running at the treadmill speed, or do you feel like you're running at the Zwift speed? Because personal perception is a big thing. What's your heart rate like? Is your heart rate a lot higher for the same speed on Zwift as it is when you run outside, or are they about the same? That's a way to judge whether your real speed on the treadmill is close to what your real speed would be outside. Yeah, it does seem to be a big difference, Christoph. I'd try and investigate that further. See, if sometimes my run treadmill doesn't connect, I will use the Stride. And if the Stride is more than 0.1 out, so it would be, say, for example, what can we do? Let's say 12 kilometers an hour that I'm running now. If it says 12.9, if it says 11.9, I'm happy with that. If it says 11.8, that'll do. If it says 11.7, I'm starting to question how accurate it is and that whether there should be that big a gap. So if yours is 11.5, then that's a big difference. Right, just 2.5k left now. Yeah, PK, that is a massive difference, isn't it? I don't think that's an acceptable. I think you need to look into that, because that's not right. See, I feel my heart rate and my cadence and my whole body feels like I'm running at 12 kilometers an hour. That's what it feels like. And I can verify that with runs outside. Whereas when I used to have an old treadmill, I always felt like I was working a lot harder for the same speed, and my heart rate was always higher on the treadmill than it would be for the same speed outside. Okay, interesting. Fire Leather says the Stride I got is 0.4 slower than my treadmill. So, how good is your treadmill? if you have an old battered treadmill or a very cheap domestic treadmill, that may be correct. So the stride is measuring correctly. Now that doesn't mean, so you will be running slower than you think, and it will feel harder, but that's because the treadmill belt or the treadmill motor is not strong enough to keep up with you, and it's slowing down and dragging when you're running on it, and so it's making it hard. It's making it feel harder for you. Leo Lothram says, before the dog ate my milestone pod, it was never accurate, but my new stride foot pod is more or less spot on, which is good to hear. Oh, PK, I've already done that, buddy. You go to my YouTube channel, Film My Run YouTube channel. I've done a test of 2 stride foot pods side by side. In fact, I'm wearing both my stride foot pods now. And in fact, also this afternoon, I was testing stride foot pods outdoors. So we've done all this stuff. We've been running on Zwift now for 4 years. And we've tested a lot of foot pods, and we've done a lot of things to work out why it feels more difficult on the treadmills and how accurate the various foot pods are. Go and check out some of the Zwift videos on the Film My Run channel, Nexus. Okay, 2 kilometers to go. Fire leather, yes. Well, the Garmin footpod is known to always be faster. It always measures quicker when it's uncalibrated. If you calibrate the Garmin footpod using the Zwift calibration tool, it will be a lot better. But if you leave it uncalibrated, it is almost always faster than your treadmill. Well done, Ace. Have you finished? James Stanger says some treadmills feel too easy for faster paces than other treadmills. Yeah, and I know plenty of people as well who actually find it easier to run on a treadmill than outdoors. They find they can go faster on a treadmill than they can outdoors. Well, that's never been my experience, to be honest. Leo, he was running at oh, there's Adam. He was running at 3:20 per kilometre early on. Brian Schultz was pushing him all the way in the first 5k. So they were speeding up and they got to around, I think about 3:15 per kilometre was their fastest kilometre. But then Brian gave up the ghost and fell back, so Adam started slowing down as well and took it easy. LS Shom, I didn't see you. It may well have come through earlier, but I didn't see it. I'm sorry, buddy. I do try and keep an eye on the comments, but sometimes I miss some. And I do apologise when I miss people's comments. Okay, Adam is now watching the stream or listening to it. and he's commented, he said he just wanted the 5k. So he wanted to go for a fast 5k time, and he beat Brian Schultz to that, and then basically they both slowed down and took it easy for the last 5k. And you can see this has been a fairly relaxed run for me. So heart rate is still in zone 3, even with me chatting away, which is good for me. I'm quite pleased about that. So I haven't even got into zone 4, zone 3 and zone 2 all the way, with just over a kilometre to go. Time to buy a stride, Nexus. Yes, mate. So we've got Adam Holland, winner of the race, jogging along with us now, cooling down after his 10k. So LS Shum says, I'm doing 100 kilometres to celebrate my birthday and raising money for the Parkinson's Trust. Good on you, LS, well done. Good to hear. And let us know exactly when you're doing it and we can support you. Adam says he's just getting a few extra miles in. Yeah, Nexus says, when are you doing it? When are you doing the 100k? Let us know. 1 kilometre left now. So a nice little group of 3 of us, all wearing the same caps, all wearing the same t-shirts, only distinguished by our different shoes. Rob Harrison, who does a lot of races with me. Adam Holland, who also does a lot of races with me, but is usually about 5 minutes ahead of me, if not more. And just up ahead of us is Marcus Holmes, who is the record holder for distance running on Zwift. Coming up on 10,000 miles run on Zwift for Marcus. There's nobody else on Zwift who has done more running miles than Marcus. Okay, so tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. Which time is that? European time, American, Pacific, West Coast? What time are you looking at? Anyway, tomorrow 9:15 a.m. LS Shum is starting his 100k. Leo says, when you did the 100 miles on Zwift, on the treadmill, did you have sore thighs? My thighs have been causing me trouble lately after my 100 miles. I don't remember having sore thighs particularly. Just basically really sore legs in total. But listen, you were going a lot quicker than me, Leo. You have to remember, you did 17 hours for 100 miles. I did 24. 7 hours slower than you. Your legs were moving a lot quicker. You were... Did I say 10,000 miles, Marcus? Sorry, I meant 10,000 kilometres. Sorry. I do know it's 10,000 kilometres. Yeah, Leo, you worked a lot harder, so your legs have probably taken a bit more of a pounding than mine did. Yeah, fire leather, sorry. 10,000 kilometres, not miles, but 6,000 miles is still ridiculous, isn't it? And Nexus is saying to Leo, maybe it's worth doing gait analysis. See how you're using your muscle groups. Yeah, could do. I think it's just, it's just a case of 100 miles is a hell of a long way. I did it a lot slower than Leo. Leo's legs took a bit more of a battering than mine. And without wanting to sound big-headed, it might also be that my legs are a bit more used to doing that kind of distance. That was your first 100, wasn't it, Leo? So if you've never done 100 miles before, the muscle memory isn't necessarily there. And my legs have done it before, so they kind of know what's coming, really. Adam Holland says, how many miles for you? I've done just over, let me see again, 4,000 kilometres. Just have a look on the screen here again, I can't remember. I've done 4,168 kilometres. So, what's that in miles? 2,500 miles. So, and I was saying this the other day. I'm on Zwift every day. I'm on Zwift almost every single day of the week running. And even I am only up to 4,100 kilometres. And Marcus is on 10,000 kilometres. That's just absolute madness. Right, that's me done. LS, thank you very much, buddy. Jeff Partridge says his legs were fine after 100k, but he did it without any incline. Yeah, so it was Leo's first 100, so yeah, it may well be just getting used to that distance, Leo. You know, and the speed that you did it, just your legs took a bit more of a battering. Jason Darby says good job. Adam Holland says well done, and well done to you, Adam, on winning that race. Fireleather says, what's your Zwift name? I have a 2:15 ride tomorrow. I'll ride with some of you depending on what. So is that LS Shom? I won't be riding tomorrow. I'll run in the evening as I usually do. Leo says he put it on 2% incline all the way. Good job. Let's have a look at tomorrow then. That's it for today. That is the Watopia Run Festival 10k, won by Adam Holland today. Nice, easy, relaxed run for me in zones 2 and 3 all the way. Last 3 kilometres in zone 3, yellow zone, and the first 7 kilometres comfortably in zone 2, so that's very good. Pat Smith, thank you for the ride on. Lawyer89, thank you for the ride on. Let's go and have a look at events for tomorrow. We can decide now what we're doing tomorrow. So it's Saturday tomorrow. So if you're around in the morning and you're not riding with LS Shom, Run in the Park Saturday morning is the one always to do if you can get up that early. There are 33 people signed up currently for Running the Park, 9 a.m. UK time tomorrow. Put that camera on. I'm working in UK time zone, LS. So are we plus one GMT? GMT plus one? I don't know. I can't remember. All right. So Run in the Park at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Or there's a Watopia Run Festival 1 miler at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can do any of those if you want. There's a Pride Run at 11 a.m. UK time tomorrow. That's a 5k Pride Run. I will most likely do... Oh, now I need to look up Corey Waltering. So Corey Waltering is doing a Pride Run at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. There's the Watopia Run Festival Half Marathon, which Victoria, my other half, might do. That's at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Jeff Partridge says, we are currently at Central European time minus 1 hour. So Central European time minus 1 hour. Gustav Eiden's Watopia Run Festival. Does anybody know who Gustav Eiden is? Let's have a look. No information about him. There we are. Led by 70-30 world champion Gustav Eiden. So triathlon 70.3 triathlon champion. So that's a half Ironman. 70.3 is a half Ironman, and he is the world champion at half Ironman, Gustav Eiden, and he is doing a Watopia Run Festival 1 mile at 8 o'clock UK time tomorrow. I don't think I'll do that. So we're running out of options, aren't we? It might be that I let my wife do the 5 o'clock half marathon. So she'll be a couple of hours doing that. Maybe I do Corey Waltering's Pride Run at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll need to have a more of an investigation. I'll need to talk to my wife and find out which run she wants to do. If she's doing the half marathon at 5 p.m, that's going to take her till 7 p.m. So I'll have to do something after 7 p.m. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot going on. 6 o'clock run in the park, can't do that. So it would be run in the park at 9 p.m. And even that's getting a bit late for me. So it might well be Corey Waltering's Pride Run at 3 p.m. Okay, so 9:15 UK time in Eastern time is 5 hours earlier. So 4:15 in the afternoon. 9:15 UK time. Oh, 9:15 in the morning. Yeah, it's 9:15 in the morning. It's 4:15 a.m. Eastern time, and 2:15, 1:15 California time, Pacific time. Is that right? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, right, I'm done. I'm going to have to let you guys know another time. So just keep an eye on the Zwift Run Facebook page and the Film My Run YouTube channel. Just keep an eye on those. No, the Zwift Run YouTube channel. Keep an eye on those and you'll find out what I'm running tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. Just keep your ears and eyes open. Thanks very much. The chat has been very entertaining this evening. Thank you very much for taking part, everybody, on YouTube and Facebook. Well done to Adam Holland for winning. That is me done for the day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.